Hello guys, and welcome to today's YouTube video. This one is actually quite a personal one. I'm going to be sharing a lot of information with you, but it's all relative to my own personal journey, and I really felt like I wanted to share this with you guys because it gives you an understanding as to why I'm so passionate about the things that I talk about, particularly iron. So I'm also wearing absolutely nothing on my face today because I want to be able to, when I'm talking about specific things, be able to point them out to you, and hopefully through the screen you can see. If not, please head over to my Instagram at Nissa_Bovenkamp to be able to see more photos and images, and hopefully fill you in on more of the stuff if you can't sort of see it through the screen here today. So what I really want to talk about is my journey. And for you to understand where I currently am on my healing journey, I need to take you back through my past. So I am currently 39 at the time of filming this, and I've pretty much dieted since I was 15 or 16. So around that time was when the Atkins diet was quite popular. So reducing carbohydrates was very much a thing that I was exposed to. And I'm naturally very athletic, however, I got naturally big legs, big, muscly, juicy legs, which I now love. But back in my teens, I used to get teased for it and was very self-conscious of them. So for me, joining a gym, thrashing my body, and trying to all these different diets was because I wanted to reduce the size of my legs, just to give you an idea. So that's well over 2 decades that I have tried different diets. Now I've done everything from dairy-free, gluten-free, sugar-free, keto, low carb, low protein, high fat, all the fats. Like I've literally tried everything. And more recently, about 4 years ago, I went full vegan, and at that same time was heavily into fasting, so doing prolonged water fasts and quite a fair bit of juice fasts. And if you follow me on my social media, you know that I'm not dead against fasting. I think it definitely has a place, however, more so for energetic reasons and like different belief systems, not necessarily for the physical body. Just had to throw that in there not to confuse anybody, because on a physical body level it can actually create quite a bit of fair bit of dysfunction, especially if you're very deficient in specific nutrients, vitamins, minerals, and which a lot of us are quite deficient in so much. So during that time of going vegan, I not only lost a lot of weight and probably had what appeared to be my most favorite body on the outside, I actually started experiencing things like painful ovulation. So prior, I had experienced painful periods and PMS and acne and all that, but at this point in time I started experiencing painful ovulation. It was actually quite painful, and to me I didn't think much of it because I was like, well, it's a sign that I'm ovulating, so isn't that a good thing? Didn't think much of it. Other things I started to experience was foggy brain, depression. Quite interesting, because I'm not really one to experience depression in my life, yet started to really experience a bit of depression, and my eyes flared up. So my eyes still a little bit flared up now. You probably can't see. But my eyes, the whites of my eyes, the sclera went yellow. Now, not a jaundiced yellow, but like fatty deposits. I've still got little floaters in my eyes, and the whites of my eyes looked like they were 3D, like little pus-filled sacs. I know that sounds really gross, but just to give you an idea of what they felt like and what they looked like, they were really dry and itchy. So that was really concerning, and nobody could tell me what was going on, why my eyes were playing up. And then further to that, my greying got worse. Now, I've been going grey, you probably can't really see, since I was about 16. So to me it was kind of normal, didn't think much of it. I knew that it had something to do with the minerals, couldn't quite figure it out. But my greying got like worse. So I'm now currently like 50% grey. And so those few little things were like, really interesting. And during that time, like being vegan, I was really heavily worried about things like iron and B vitamins. So I was supplementing quite heavily, especially your iron. And when you're eating a vegan diet, you're eating a lot of nuts and seeds, and then fasting, which further adds stress to the body. My body just got really inflamed. So my cholesterol was really high. It was that high that the doctor was trying to get me on statins drug, which I would never touch. However, that was a sure indication to me that there's some kind of inflammation in my body. Okay, that's all cholesterol is. It's a protective hormone. So it was indicating to me that there was inflammation and it was trying to protect me from something. So what was going on in my body? And then I started actually gaining weight. I started gaining weight and couldn't lose it in areas that I hadn't held it before. And then I fell pregnant. And so I was at university studying my bachelor's degree in health medicine, nutritional medicine, health science, I should say, nutritional medicine. And during that time, quite a few of my lecturers really were starting to hound me on taking supplements because I was pregnant, and doctors were as well. And this really led me down the path of, like, I really can't understand this. Like, I'm in natural medicine. Why are we supplementing? Look at the root cause. If I'm lacking iron, which my bloods were showing that I wasn't, but if I'm lacking something, what's causing it? If my cholesterol's high, what's causing it? And it led me down this beautiful path. I started working with a nutrition coach, and heavily delved into all the work of Dr. Ray Peat, which Emma shares, and also my great friend Kitty Blomfield. So if you follow me on social media, you'll see me tag them all the time in it. So those two beautiful women really introduced me to the work of Dr. Ray Peat, and then also like the pro-metabolic community and all the other professionals that share great information. And this is when I really started to join the dots. So today what I'm going to really share is not telling other people what to do, but more sharing in my personal journey. So like, I don't work with people at the moment that are experiencing what I'm going through because I don't feel knowledgeable enough. However, if people reach out to me, there's some great, great people, like the nutrition coach, Emma Skarakis, I think it's pronounced. And then also on Instagram, the Real Food Gangsters. So Josh and Janine, love what those guys share. So I always pass people on, because I'm still doing my research and I'm still healing. However, when I get comfortable into a space where I'm starting to see results and fully understand it, then I will take on people. So I'm really sharing from a personal space today. What I discovered, firstly, is it's literally near impossible for someone to be iron deficient. Go back to my old YouTube videos on iron and listen to a little bit more about me sharing there, and let that information land if you're wanting to question that. So I then started looking into, well, why was my iron dysfunctional? Why was I experiencing anemic-like symptoms? And when you look into that, it's got really nothing to do with iron and everything to do with the nutrients required to keep it mobilized. And generally, when we're lacking those nutrients, there are also dysfunction in other areas of your body. So it's affecting many areas of the body. I'm not really going to get into that today, but I was really wanted to touch on that because iron was so big. And also, when iron is immobilized in the body and you have that iron overload because you keep putting it in, then it will oxidize in specific areas, particularly the eyes. That just really made a lot of sense to me when I really started to delve into this information. So understanding that, I really focused on my iron metabolism, really mobilizing my iron, and getting the nutrients in from like bioavailable food sources certainly helped in many other areas. So focusing on bioavailable copper, focusing on getting in tyronase from things like orange juice, focusing on bioavailable like your B vitamins. So you would get those when you would eat things like bee pollen for your copper as well. Also bioavailable forms of vitamin A, which so many humans are actually deficient or dysfunction in vitamin A. And vitamin A is extremely important, especially for iron and copper, but things like thyroid health, liver health, like you name it. It's not just the usuals like eyesight and skin and reproduction, although they're extremely important for those. It really plays a huge role in these other essential nutrients, minerals, and heavy metals in our body. So that's where I've been in terms of working through where I was at with my iron overload. Furthermore, when you have iron overload, it can really affect your cellular metabolism. So the way that your cells uptake things like insulin, so therefore your glucose. So really looking at my insulin resistance and working through that, I started looking at a few different vitamins and different ways of supplementing to help support my body in working through that insulin resistance and ridding from my body the things that were causing that. Further to that, eating a vegan diet, but even prior to being vegan, I was eating a diet very, very high in what we call PUFAs, polyunsaturated fatty acids. So that also contributed to a lot of the dysfunction going on in my body, my insulin resistance, the inflammation in my eyes, the skin issues I was having, like the weight gain, though, or when you really start to delve into the work of Dr. Ray Peat, it makes sense. It makes sense at everything that I was experiencing. So removing those from the diet and also providing the body with what it needs to heal from it, because you will heal over time by just removing them out. However, there's things that you can have and take and implement that are going to help with that healing. Things like vitamin B3 in its bioavailable form, it's called niacinamide. Things like vitamin E. They're extremely underrated vitamins that are potent antioxidants to our body. So there's so much more that goes with this. They were just two things that I just threw in there. There's so much more to it. But just to give you an idea of where I'm at, like I'm still on my healing journey. Throughout my pregnancy, I got covered in skin tags. I reckon there was thousands all over my body, all over my chest, underarms, my groin. And that really scared me. And it's a sure sign of metabolism dysfunction, particularly carbohydrate metabolism dysfunction. So being able to support my metabolism with diet changes, so nutrition changes, but also different supplements, has made a drastic change in my health. So I've although I was pregnant, and you put on weight when you're pregnant, I actually put on like 25 kilos, and afterwards really took my time in focusing on weight loss. So I'm now 10 months postpartum, and the weight's just falling off me. I've literally only just started back in the gym, but I really dedicated the last year and a half to healing my body and doing it while I was pregnant. So I opted for super safe choices, and I certainly did so much research in what I was doing and not doing, because obviously I had a little life inside of me. But trust me, to go on a healing journey when I was pregnant. But when you know what you don't know, you can't not do those things. So when you're opened up to it, you actually want to make the choices you can. So what I was getting at is, now I'm on the other side. I feel like I'm really experiencing the benefits of healing my metabolism, healing my thyroid function, healing my liver, healing my metabolism. I think I said metabolism. Healing my body on a cellular level. It's a huge difference. I feel really great. My skin is amazing. I don't know how well you can see it here, but my skin's so clear. My hair grows so fast, it's incredible. I had absolutely no postpartum hair loss, none at all. And the other month, I thought to myself that my grey hairs looked less, but thought it was in my head. And then my partner actually said the same thing to me. So I truly believe that that greyness is perhaps slightly reversing, because I'm balancing my minerals, particularly your copper and your iron, which are sure players in early onset of greying. And my eyes are clearing up. They've still got a long way to go. And that's why I'm sharing so openly and raw with you guys, because we all have different journeys. We're all on different journeys. And if we can share and be really vulnerable and honest with people, then other people are more likely to be patient, more likely to actually go, wow, I've dieted for over 2 decades, and what kind of dysfunction is in my body, and what kind of patience do I need to have and to implement and embody, so that I can allow what these changes to do their thing, because it's really a long game. So really sharing about iron is such a biggie for me, because I was put on iron like when I started my period, and right through for 2 decades I was on and off iron, and it was so unnecessary. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. I'm currently doing a series of posts on my social media about iron and pregnancy, really sharing from my own personal journey. So furthermore to that, like that weight gain side, it was really quite hard, especially postpartum as well. Like, you want to get your body back, but you also want to do it right. Like, you lose so much of your nutrients while you're pregnant, giving it all to your baby. So nourishment was also played a really big part in my journey. So for anyone on a healing journey and you are putting on some weight, there's 2 sides to it. You can be quite regimented and track your food and track your subjective measures, so that you can have more control and therefore not gain as much weight. Or you can just really nourish your body and allow it to do what it needs to do. So I was carrying a good 15 kilos over my usual weight for quite some time. And it's only really been in the last 3 months that it's really starting to fall off me. And it's only really been in the last month that I've started to go back to the gym, because all of my subjective measures were really healthy. My temperature, my pulse, my sleep, my cycle, they were all in such a great place that I decided that I wanted to put my body back through that exercise stress, because resistance training, any kind of exercise actually, is stress on your body. So I felt ready. But prior to that, like, the weight was just dropping off me. And not that this is all just about weight, like, there's so much more to it. Like, my ovulation's not painful. I have the most regular, beautiful period cycle. My skin's so healthy, my sex drive is healthy, my mood, my clarity, my sleep, my focus. There's so much to it that takes time. And to be able to listen to your body and go, right, you know, the skin tags are all fallen off, like, or whatever I'm experiencing has started to dissipate, or I'm feeling really great, then that's a really sure sign of what you're doing is helping. However, it really depends on the individual as to how long it's going to take. So I hope this is really resonating with you guys today, as I wanted to share, because as I share more information on different things that I've learned, especially through Dr. Ray Peat, but also people like Molly Robbins and other really great practitioners out there and researchers, I really wanted to ensure that you had an idea of where I was coming from and why I'm so passionate about it. It's not just, oh, this chick studied, or this chick's been in health and fitness for 20 years. It's like, no, this chick's actually been through this. This chick's had, like, experienced depression, acne, early onset of graying, extremely inflamed eyes, started putting on weight. Like, there was so many things that I've been through that nudged me this way, And now I get to share that with people in my clinic, the beautiful souls that I get to work with, in helping them achieve that health and vitality on an emotional level, on a spiritual level, on a mental level, physical level, that also radiates through all areas of their life. Because health is not just about your physical body. Health is not just about nutrition. Health is like the entire collective of what makes up you. So your happiness in all areas of your life, like, what is your relationships like? What is your happiness like in your job? Like, what's your mentality like? Have you got, like, triggers from your childhood that you haven't dealt with? Like, there's so much that comes into play when looking at your health. So thank you so much for watching today. Please comment below if you have questions on my journey, or you want to know more, because that's the whole reason why I'm doing this, is to really share on my journey, on where I've been through, and why I'm so passionate about what I do. And not just in health as well, but like in business. So going from someone who is heavily reliant on Centrelink, and for you international people, Centrelink's like our government support, heavily relying on that, being homeless twice, bankrupt. Like, I've gone from having a really bad relationship with money to actually being so in love with money. And so money mindset's another massive thing that I'm passionate about, and seeing women really step into their power. Women actually claim their power, and to create independence, particularly financial independence, is just something that lights me up so very much. So I look forward to sharing more with you guys. Thank you so much for watching today, and hit that like and subscribe for me. Give me some love. I love love.